the OnePlus Open or the Vivo X Fold 3. Now let's talk about this. Now, just the other day I did the OnePlus Open, against the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4. And at the end of the day, I chose the OnePlus Open because I just like the performance better, better battery life, better battery charging speeds, better speakers, great cameras. It just, I just like that overall device better. You got the IR blaster, you got the alert slider. It just has a lot more going for it, in my opinion. It has a bigger cover display, has a bigger inner display, smaller hinge. It hides the crease better. So that's why I chose the OnePlus Open over that of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4. Now, keep in mind, I do love the Galaxy Z Fold 4. It's a great device. And if you chose that, you wouldn't be choosing wrong. I mean, because everybody's choice is their choice. And some people are worried about if they break their device, they would have trouble getting it repaired. And I completely understand that because some of you just don't want to use a case. You want to feel the phone. You don't want the extra bulk. You don't want the extra weight. Completely understandable. Me, I'm going with a case. I want complete protection. The bulk doesn't bother me. The weight doesn't bother me. I don't need to feel the phone. If I want to feel it, I can take the case off when I'm at home and in my bedroom and I got carpet all over the floors. I ain't got to worry about dropping it and breaking it. But to each his own. But we're here to talk about the OnePlus Open versus the Vivo X Fold 3. Both of these devices are great foldable devices. There's no question about it. And they're both flagship devices with flagship chips inside. All right, so let's talk about it. Now, the OnePlus came out 2023. Vivo X Fold 3 came out in 2024. When it comes to presentation, let's start off with presentation. They're even because they both give you a charger in the box and they both give you a case. Now, as far as the box and how they present their devices, I have to say even because they both give you a great presentation. Because with the OnePlus Open, I like the way when you open the box, it kind of pushes the phone up towards you. I like that. And I also like Vivo's where you go in and everything is in a specific place and the box is, very premium itself. So it's even when it comes to presentation. Now, I didn't even talk about presentation when I was comparing the OnePlus Open against the Samsung Z Fold 4 because there was nothing to even talk about when it comes to the Z Fold 4. You don't get anything. So I just didn't even bother with the presentation because Samsung don't seem to care about presentation, and the people that buy their products don't seem to care either because it hasn't changed. Next, let's talk about design. Now, when it comes to design, I like both, but I'm gonna have to go with the OnePlus Open. I just like the design a little better. I know this camera module may be too big for some people. It's just too huge, but for me, it's not a big deal. My finger just rests right underneath it like this, not a problem. Or rests over to the side, not a problem. Don't bother me in the least. But I don't have super long fingers. Like some people have long fingers and they feel like they're always going to smudge their camera. But if you put a case to cover all the cameras, you're not going to smudge the camera. But that's just my opinion. But I like both designs a lot, but I do prefer the OnePlus design a little bit better. I love this leather back, and I just love the setup. Now see how dark the camera module is on the Vivo. I wish it was that dark on the OnePlus Open. I really do. That would have made it look even more stealthy looking to me. I would have really liked that a lot. Next, let's talk about build quality. Now, what I mean about build quality, not so much what the materials are made up of. And I know there's a lot of people out there that care about that, especially if they want about dropping it. But I'm not talking about build quality, as far as what these, phones, the material is built on. I'm talking about how does a phone feel in your hand. For those of you out there that don't like using cases, how does this, you probably asking me, how does this phone feel or these phones feel in my hand? When it comes to how the phones feel, when it comes to build quality, I'm going with the Vivo X Fold 3. It's definitely more comfortable. It's just Now, of course, the Vivo 4 was super smooth and super comfortable, even more so than the Vivo X Fold 3. But when this thing is in my hand, I could easily use this without a case with no problem. It's comfortable. It doesn't stab me in my hand, my palm. It doesn't feel irritating on my fingers at all. And the this hinge is very, very, very small. I mean, it's almost non-existent. It almost completely blends in with the side of the phone. Seriously, I mean, you see how thin it is. I mean, it's you can barely like seriously. I mean, look at it. It almost blends into the side of the phone. It's so small, compared to the OnePlus. Like you can see how it comes up. See, you can see that. See, you can see it right there. With the Vivo, you can't see anything. Like it's so thin. I'm telling you. So I'm not saying this feels bad in the hand. It doesn't. But for some reason, even though it's rounded, it irritates my palm. And it feels premium. And the leather, gives you some grip. But I gotta go with the Vivo. It's just more comfortable without a case in my hand. And that's just my opinion. Your opinion is going to vary. Now, but both feel very premium, honestly. Now, also check out the thinness. Now, I don't like thin phones. I use this phone is definitely thinner than that of the OnePlus, the Vivo. Definitely a thinner device overall, no question about it. It's just thinner. Now, I know this is the new thing going on now with these foldables, make them super thin, super light. This one is going to have some more weight to it, probably mainly because of how big this camera module is. But this is definitely, I like the weight of this as opposed to the weight of the Vivo. But the Vivo is thinner and the Vivo is much, much lighter. For those of you that want thin, you want light, you definitely want the Vivo. Okay? Now, so when it comes to build quality, I'm going with the Vivo X Fold 3 when it comes to build quality. Next, biometrics. When it comes to biometrics, both have face unlock, both had side mounted fingerprint sensors. It's even because they're excellent on both devices. Okay, that's even. Next, always on display. Now, when it comes to always on display, I'm going with the Vivo. Why? And I can't really show you now because I have no notifications, but you literally get the original notification on this device in its own color. See what you get on here? Well, sorry, turn this off. If it was just up, but it's going to be white. It's not going to be the original icon, and it's not going to be in its color. It's just going to be small and white. So when it comes to always on display, the Vivo is definitely much better than that of the OnePlus Open for me. Now, it's not about the customization of the always on display and all these different clocks. I'm not talking about that. Just displaying my notifications because that's the most important thing to me. And it just depends on you. You may be, say, well, I want more customization with the always on display. So I think this particular device is better than this particular device. But for me, it's about notifications. To me, it's about how easily it is for me to see everything. So for me, I'm going with the Vivo X Fold 3 when it comes to always on display. And with the minute they allowed me to get all of my notifications in the original icon and the original color, this device just keeps getting better and better and better. And I must have had at least 4 software updates within the last 4 months. I mean, it seems like every time I turn around, they're updating this device. And it just keeps getting better, y'all. So for those of you that never tried a Vivo, you really should try one if you're able to afford it. I know everybody just can't go outright buy a device. A lot of people go through, a carrier. So I understand it. But if you're the type of person where you can, I'm telling you, check out Vivo. Vivo phones are just unbelievably great. The software, the performance, the battery life, they're great devices. Trust me. Okay, this is my second Vivo device, and I plan on getting the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro. That's the one I'll be getting soon. All right, so sorry. When it comes to biometrics, they're even. They both have great biometrics. Oh, I'm sorry. An always on display. That's what I was on. All right, let's talk about button placement. Now, the button placement is pretty similar. Everything is on the side. But when it comes to reachability, the Vivo is still better because the fingerprint sensor is right here and the volume rockers are just above it. With the OnePlus, you got to reach up a little bit right here, and then the volume rockers are all the way up here. It's like a stretch for me. So I don't like the button placement of the OnePlus Open. I don't. It's just things are just up too far. And this is a taller device, but everything is perfect when it comes to, excuse me, y'all. See, you can see right here that is lower. See where the fingerprint sensor is, and everything on the OnePlus is up higher. So I don't like the button placement of the OnePlus Open. I just don't. Next, IR blaster. It's even. Both have an IR blaster. Don't have to go and show you about what it does. I've already done that before, but both have an IR blaster. Next, alert slider. Both have an alert slider. The only difference is with the OnePlus Open, you're gonna go from ring to vibrate to silent. With the Vivo X Fold 3, you only go from ring to silent, or no, from ring to vibrate. So there's no silent on the Vivo. Just from ring to vibrate. On here is from ring to vibrate to silent. So the alert slider is better on the OnePlus Open, but they both have an alert slider. Next, let's talk about the cover display. Now, for a lot of people, that's probably one of the most important things when it comes to these foldable devices. Can I use the cover display like a regular style candy bar style phone? Is it wide enough? Some people don't mind Samsung's narrow front display. Some people do. It just depends on you. So let's first talk about the cover display on the OnePlus Open. As you can see, it's nice and it's wide, it's bright, it's vivid. You got a 6.31-inch LTPO3 super fluid OLED display with Dolby Vision, 120 hertz refresh rate, 2,800 nits peak brightness. This is a beautiful, beautiful display, and it's nice and wide. You can easily use this device comfortably without even having to open it, unless you just want to open it. But that's how wide, this cover display is. Okay. I think it's one of the perfect widths. Like if you wanted something a little wide, especially, if you're going to be typing on it, you can see that that's going to be nice and comfortable for you to do your thing. Now, I don't type with both fingers, but if you do, this is going to be more than enough. Okay. You're not going to have a problem. With the X Fold 3, now I love this display too. Now it's not as wide as the OnePlus Open. It's a slightly more narrow than that of the OnePlus Open. But it's crazy to me that I actually like this ratio better. And I know that sounds really weird because you think I would want wider easily. I mean, this is nice. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't know what it is about Vivo in this display. And it just has the perfect cover display size for me. But I mean, I like that I don't have to choose either one. I can use, both, but it's just something about this. I can't even explain it, but I like the cover display on the Vivo better. It could be that it's so much brighter, as you can clearly see. I don't know what it is. But you got a 6.53-inch full HD AMOLED display, HDR10 plus, Dolby Vision, 120 hertz refresh rate, 4,500 nits peak brightness. This display is absolutely gorgeous, and it gets crazy bright. I mean, sustained brightness is 1,600 nits. It's crazy. It's punchy. It's vivid. It's vibrant. It's everything you want in a display. Okay, right up there with Samsung. And I'm not saying the OnePlus Open doesn't have a great cover display, because it does, but it's just not quite on the level of this Vivo X Fold 3. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's just not for me. Not in my opinion. So when it comes to cover display, I'm going to go with the Vivo X Fold 3. Time to talk about that inner display. Now, for the inner display, that's important as well, because this is where all the fun is, in my opinion, is in the inner display. Nothing better than walking around with literally a tablet in your pocket. You know, when you read stuff on here, it's going to be easy to read. You know, when you read books, and I read a lot of books and stuff like that. And when I read a book, it's so easy to read, not a problem at all. I love it. Easy to see everything. You can make it as bright as you want. And I love the way, Kindle, and you can go this way, and you can change where it's like you could read, half and half. That's not my thing, honestly, but it depends on you. I like I like it this way. But I mean, it's excellent for reading books. Of course, it's excellent for, where is that thing at? Facebook. Yeah, there it is. So if you're going into Facebook, it's perfect. I mean, you're gonna really enjoy your experience. Everything is nice and big, nice and smooth. You're gonna love it. Okay, you're gonna love it. It's the ratio was perfect. No issues with that. Now, with this inner display with the OnePlus Open, you got a 7.82-inch LTPO3 Flexi Fluid AMOLED display with Dolby Vision, 120 hertz refresh rate, 2,800 nits peak brightness. It's absolutely gorgeous, stunning. You got, your taskbar right down here. This thing is just beautiful. Super smooth, super fluid. You got your, what do you call that, Google feed. Now, most of the time on here, I use Nova Launcher, but for this video, I'm going to use the System Launcher, especially when I talk about performance, because the performance is going to be different with the System Launcher as opposed to Nova Launcher. It's going to be, your performance experience is going to be much better on the System Launcher. I'm just being honest. It's going to be way more smoother, and it's going to be a little faster. Okay, just keep that in mind. So beautiful display, and whatever angle that you put this display, it just always seems perfect to me. Open. Let's talk about the inner display of the Vivo. So you got an 8.3-inch LTPO AMOLED display, HDR10 plus Dolby Vision, 120 hertz refresh rate, 4,500 nits peak brightness, 1,600 nits sustained brightness. This thing is unbelievably beautiful. It's huge, 8 inches. This thing is huge. I love a huge display. It's thin and it's huge. Okay, no matter what configuration you put this in, it's going to be bigger than that of the OnePlus. Okay, I don't know what I did to make it go out. All right, and it's so much brighter. I mean, this thing is crazy bright, and I use it at 100% bright. I use everything at 100% brightness, but you can see that it's taller. Okay, it's a bigger display. It's I mean, I don't know if it's wider. This might be slightly wider, but this is just a bigger overall display, period. Okay, so I'm going with the brighter, more vivid, more punchy, sharper display with the Vivo easily. But I do love this OnePlus inner display. Don't get me wrong, I do. And I love you could just turn it. It's going to be good in any configuration displays. But if I had to pick which one that I think is best, of course, I'm going with the Vivo. Next, let's talk about the Crease. Now, for some people, the creases are such a big deal. You have those people, oh, if they have a crease, I'm not buying a foldable till they get rid of the crease. Well, I guess you'll never be buying a foldable because they're always going to have some type of crease because they fold. Now, very, very difficult to even see this crease. I mean, really hard unless you're really trying to find it, even in direct lighting like I'm using. I can't even see it. The only time you'll see, honestly, you turn this off and you put it in the direct sunlight. You'll see it a little bit, so you can see it, but they hide it very well. They do an excellent job with the crease. It's not. You barely can't. You basically cannot see this crease when the screen is on. You just can't. Same with the Vivo. You really can't see this crease unless the screen is off like this. Now, when you look at both, they both are similar in the way they chose to hide the crease. So you can see it with that direct sunlight. See, they're basically both very similar. Maybe the OnePlus hides it just a tad bit better, but like I said, when the screens are on, you cannot see this crease at all. I mean, unless you're really so hard trying to find it, and you barely even feel it. I mean, you can rub your finger over it and feel it a little bit, but it's not that deep like like that of Samsung. So when it comes to the crease, I say they're even because they do a great job of hiding the crease on both of these devices. Next, let's talk about internal storage. So with the OnePlus Open, it starts out with 512 gigs of internal storage. Now that's the only variant that they offer. So if you wanted a terabyte, you can't do it. This is the only variant that they offer, which I think was a mistake. I don't know why they didn't offer a terabyte too. Now I'm glad they started out with 512 because that's half a terabyte. And I think anytime you pay close to a $2,000 for a device, I think they should all start out at 512 gigs of internal storage, in my opinion. I really do believe that. Not 256 like they do the candy bar style phones. This is a foldable. This is a top tier flagship device. It's the most expensive device these companies offer. They should start out with a half a terabyte of storage. Also, the Vivo, you can get it at 512 too, but this one starts out at 256. So you're going to get a better deal with the OnePlus Open because it starts out with 512 as opposed to the Vivo that starts out at 256. But 512 is available, and also a terabyte is available for the Vivo X Fold 3. Next, let's talk about RAM. Now, with the OnePlus Open, comes with 16 gigs of RAM, which is really nice. That's cool. That's an adequate amount. That's more than an adequate amount of RAM. And the RAM management on this device is excellent. When it comes to RAM for the Vivo X Fold 3, starts out at 12, but you can extend the RAM on this device to another 12. So in essence, you can easily be using 24 gigs of RAM. And the RAM management on this device is excellent as well. So when it comes to overall RAM, I got to go with the Vivo because instead of just 16, you got 24 gigs of RAM on the Vivo just by virtue of being able to extend the RAM. Let's talk about battery or battery life. Now, the OnePlus Open comes with a 4,805 milliamp hour battery, and the Vivo X Fold 3 comes with a 5,500 milliamp hour battery. So the battery in the Vivo X Fold 3 is larger than that of the OnePlus Open, but they're both are going to give you great battery life. I can get over 7 hours of screen on time with both of these devices. Okay, if I'm using them real hard, and that's with the screen. I'm talking about the inner screen usage, because I use the inner screen 98% of the time. 98%. That's 100% brightness. That's always on display. That's 120 hertz. That's at its highest setting in the resolution too. I mean, full throttle. I don't baby these devices. I use them full throttle, and I can get over 7.5 hours on both. I can get 2 days of battery life on both. They're both beast mode, devices when it comes to battery life. Also, the standby time on both of these are great as well. So when it comes to the battery, I'll say it's even. Let's talk battery charging speeds. With the OnePlus Open, 67-watt wired charging can charge the phone in about an hour, maybe a little less, maybe 58 minutes. But that's pretty much an hour. Excuse me, an hour. With the Vivo X Fold 3, you're getting 80 watts wired charging. I can charge this device in 40 minutes. So it's going to charge almost 20 minutes faster than that of the OnePlus Open. If that matters to you, it may not matters to me because I like the faster a phone can charge, the faster I can use it and top it off. I like that, but it depends on you. Next, let's talk about wireless charging. Neither one of these devices have wireless charging, which is a disappointment. However, the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro does come with wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. Can't wait to get my hands on that device. Next, reverse wireless charging. Once again, none on either one of these devices. Next, multitasking capabilities. Now, of course, both of these devices can multitask. Okay, they can do the normal multitasking or they can do some special multitasking. Now, in my previous video that I just did yesterday, of course, you can watch that and check out the multitasking capabilities of the OnePlus Open. And of course, you can check out the multitasking capabilities of this phone is pretty much the norm. Okay, like it's just the norm. There's nothing fancy or new to show you with this. Honestly, it's just the norm. So just to save time, I'm just going to keep it moving. But I will say this: the way that OnePlus implements multitasking in the OnePlus Open is far superior to that of the way Vivo implements their multitasking capabilities. It just is. This thing is awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it. Next, let's talk about water and dust resistance. Neither one of these have dust resistance, but the OnePlus does have IPX4 splash resistance. The Vivo X Fold 3 only has IP4 splash resistance. So they both basically have splash resistance when it comes to water. So you cannot submerge either one of these folds. You're going to the beach, you leave these home or you leave them in the car. And keep them out of a rainstorm. Next, let's talk about the stereo speakers. Now with the OnePlus Open, you're getting a triple speaker setup, meaning it looks like it's 4 speakers, but there's sound coming out of 3 speakers, and the sound on this device with these 3 stereo speakers sound like actual stereo speakers, and they will blow your mind. They are excellent, excellent, excellent quality. They're super loud. They're full. You can hear the bass. These speakers are by far the best speakers on a foldable I've ever heard. With the Vivo, not so much. They need to step up and do a much better job with the sound quality coming out of their speakers. They should definitely sound like that of the OnePlus Open, honestly. They're not bad, but they don't even compare. It's like night and day. So when it comes to stereo speakers, it's the OnePlus Open, hands down. Next, performance. Once again, I gotta call it even. These are both super fast and super silky smooth and fluent in every sense of the word. Okay? Samsung just can't compete when it comes to the fluidity and the smoothness and the speed of these devices, in my opinion. They just don't. There's no need showing you. I'm telling you, they both are silky, smooth, fast, and fluid. So it's even when it comes to performance. Next, software. Now the OnePlus Open uses Oxygen OS 15 and the Vivo X Fold 3 uses Origin OS 5. Very, very different software experiences. I like both, honestly, but to me, you're just gonna get more out of Origin OS 5. You just gotta get, used to it. It's not very difficult to get used to. It's not hard. Like I adapted to this very, very quickly. It is different than Samsung. It is different than Oxygen OS, but there's a lot of similarities of this software with that of Samsung. Like they try to do a lot of things that Samsung do, but Samsung just takes it to a whole nother level. But you're going to get a great software experience with both of these devices. However, you're just going to get more with the Origin OS 5. But you're going to get a great experience on both, no question about it. All right, so let's talk about and if I didn't mention that customization, it's not close. You're going to get way more customization on the Vivo X Fold 3. It definitely blows away the OnePlus Open when it comes to customization. This device is crazy customizable. Just watch my full review of this device, and also the review where I said things that I forgot to mention about the Vivo X Fold 3. Watch that and you'll see what I'm talking about. Next, software support. So the OnePlus Open will receive 4 years of software support and 5 years of security patches. The Vivo X Fold 3 will receive 3 years of software support and 4 years of security patches. So you're going to get longer security and software support with the Vivo X Fold. With the OnePlus Open. Okay, 4 years, 5 years security, 3 years, 4 years security. But both will receive Android 17. Next, let's talk about foldable features. Now, the OnePlus Open, the foldable features are very limited. I'm serious, y'all. Now, I gotta show y'all this because I didn't show it in my last video. See right there where it says foldable features? This is it. Like, this is literally it. Seriously. Display size, dual windows, taskbar, screen switching. That's it. That's it. Split view, floating window. That's it. That's all you get. Now, I do like if you're using the display like this, you close it. Say you want to continue on the cover display, all you do is swipe up and it comes right on. So if you don't swipe up, if you have it open and you're using it, you could close it. Unless you swipe up, it's going to stay dark. And at some point, it's just going to lock itself if you don't do it immediately. So I do like that feature. That feature is cool. You know, it's different. But I mean, look, y'all, I mean, it's just very limited, honestly. Okay, dual windows. You can use all of these apps, you know, which is not that many with a dual window. Of course, you got the taskbar. We all know about that. That's right at the bottom. Okay. Like, that's not a big deal. Screen switching, I just showed you that. Of course, you can use split view where you could, you know, I do like that. You know, you could swipe right down the middle of the page like that. It opens up and then you use it comes together, you know, basically multitasking. That's basically what it is. And split view notice, receive a notice to enable split view after repeatedly switching between the same two apps or after a link redirects you to another app on the main screen. Like, this is it. It's so limited. So it doesn't have a lot of foldable feet. It has no what do you call that? I forgot what you call that thing. Oh, no, you know when you turn the screen like this and put it like this, it'll come to me. I just forgot what you call it. The only app you can use that feature on, I think you can use it on the camera. Yeah, you can use it on the camera. You can use it on the camera, and you can use it on you can use it in YouTube, but that's it. Those are the only two apps you can use that in. Okay, flex mode, that's what it is, flex mode. So there's no real flex mode on here except for the camera and YouTube. That's it. Now, when it comes to foldable features on this, okay, let's go on to foldable devices. You got global taskbar, you got multi-window display for apps, you got apps display ratio, and you got flex mode. Okay, you specifically got flex mode, and you got them for all of these apps. Look at all these apps that you got it for. A bunch of them. Okay, not just a few, a bunch of them. Okay, smart screen shift. Say when your phone is in tent mode. Now let me show you what tent mode is. Now do I have to turn it off? No, I gotta turn it off. I'm gonna show you what tent mode is. Tent mode is cool. I like tent mode. That's tent mode. You literally close this thing up like this and leave it halfway open. You have a full clock, and they have more clocks. They have, I think, 3 or 4 different types of clocks, but I like that, and it'll stay on for like 3 hours. So that's cool. I love that. That's what I'm talking about. All right. You can have your screen stay on when you close it, or turn off. You got multitasking. You can have 2 apps open. You could open up a third one, even a fourth one, and have a floating app in the middle. So you're going to get a lot more foldable features. You're going to get a lot more foldable features when it comes to, you know, when it comes to foldable features, you're going to get more features on the Vivo X Fold 3. All right, so let's talk about artificial intelligence. No artificial intelligence on the OnePlus Open. There is none on there. Okay, I done checked in the camera mode. I didn't see any. Okay, there's no artificial intelligence. You do have a little bit on the Vivo X Fold 3, even though most of it, I don't really understand it. Or, you know, keep in mind this is a Chinese ROM, so probably more of it would work, you know, if I was in China. But they do have it on here. Let me see. I'm trying to locate it, but I know they have a little bit of it on here. Oh, it says Blue AI. That's what it is. So, I mean, I don't really understand this stuff. It says Blue Element, Copilot, Scan, Jovi, In Life, AI Advisor. So, I mean, driving mode. So it does have some, but I mean, it's really not usable, you know, in this country. So maybe I could just come out and say neither one of them really have any AI, honestly, which is not a big deal to me because I don't care about AI anyway. All right, we already talked about customization. That's the Vivo 3, X Fold 3. Now let's talk about cameras. Now both of these devices have great cameras. Let's start off with the OnePlus Open. So, comes with a 48 megapixel wide, 64 megapixel telephoto, and a 3 times optical zoom, and a 48 megapixel ultra wide. The Check out my full review on this device. You'll see my video and my photo samples. This thing takes excellent videos and photos. I mean, excellent. I mean, sharp, beautiful, bright, vivid, absolutely gorgeous. Have no issues with these cameras. I just don't have no issues. On the front, 32 megapixel selfie cover camera shoots video 4K at 30, and the inner camera also shoots. It's also 32 megapixels. It shoots 4K at 60. So you're going to get a great camera on the inside because it's right here in the corner, and you're going to get a nice selfie up here. Of course, you can use the rear cameras for your selfies if you want to, but I really honestly believe that the selfie cameras on the cover and the inner are adequate enough. They're good enough. I don't have a problem taking a selfie with either one of those cameras. Not at all. So let's talk about the Vivo. Now with the Vivo, you're using the Zeiss optics. Okay. So this comes with a 50 megapixel wide with optical image stabilization. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the main camera on here also comes with OIS as well. Sorry, forgot to mention that. So 50 megapixel wide OIS, 50 megapixel telephoto, and a 2 times optical zoom, and a 50 megapixel ultra wide. You can shoot 8K at 30 frames per second, 4K at 60 with the cover display. Selfie is 32 megapixels, and the inner display is 32 megapixels wide. Shoots video at 1080p at 30 frames per second. So no 4K at 60 on the cover display selfie or the inner display selfie, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. It doesn't take away the quality. It's still a great cover display selfie and a great inner display selfie. Oh, see what I mean? The always on display, see Facebook, and you can see it in its actual original icon. So you're not going to get that with OnePlus. See, that's what I like. And I think all always on displays should be like this. All of them. Okay. So, but when it comes to overall cameras, which one has the better camera? Hands down is the Vivo. These photos and videos on this camera are unreal. I mean, seriously. I'm not saying they destroyed the cameras on the OnePlus. No. But they are clearly better. Check out my full review of this device. Go straight to the photos and videos if you want samples. Check it out for yourself. These videos and photos are unreal on this camera. And the zoom capabilities on this is a beast. Even up to 50 times zoom, you can still get some really nice shots. Really, really nice shots. And 30 times is just Ridiculous. Okay. So you may be asking, well, which one are you going to pick at the end of the day? Which one you going with? If you had to pick one, which one you going with? That's easy. I'm going with the Vivo. Okay. Even though I do like the speakers on here better, but that's pretty much it. Just the speakers. I wish these speakers were on this. But when it comes to the build, when it comes to the aspect ratio of the cover display, even though this is wider, okay, even though I like the design better, but look, the performance on this thing is unreal. The cameras, the battery life, the battery charging speeds, the IR blaster, and these both of these phones have a lot of similarities. Neither one have wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, but the this display is just better. Is brighter. The always on display is better. I mean, I just love it's more comfortable in my hand than that of the OnePlus. I'm not talking about I love the thinness of it because I don't. I wear a case. I usually have a case on this, which gives me some more thickness, a little more weight, and the case is like all rubber, so it gives me crazy grip. I'm going with the Vivo. I'm sorry, I just like this phone better. Okay, like I said, I love the speakers on this, but far as overall phone, I'm going with the Vivo X Fold 3. So thank you all for taking the time to view this content. I do appreciate it. I hope everybody out there staying safe and staying well, and I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.